Microchips, also known as integrated circuits, are made by a process called photolithography. This process involves the use of light and chemicals to create intricate patterns on the semiconductor material, typically silicon. The process can be broken down into several steps. 1. Design. The first step in making a microchip is to design it. This involves creating a blueprint or layout of the microchip using computer-aided design (CAD) software. The design defines the layout of the transistors, capacitors, and other components that make up the microchip. 2. Wafer fabrication. Once the design is complete, the next step is to create the silicon wafer that the microchip will be built on. The wafer is made by slicing a single crystal of silicon into thin wafers, which are then polished to a high degree of flatness. 3. Photolithography. The wafer is then coated with a light-sensitive material called photoresist. A mask is placed over the wafer, and the wafer is exposed to ultraviolet light. The light causes a chemical reaction in the photoresist, hardening it in some areas and leaving other areas soluble. The soluble areas are then washed away, leaving the pattern of the mask on the wafer. This is repeated multiple times to create the various layers of the microchip. 4. Etching. The wafer is then etched, removing the silicon that was not protected by the photoresist. This creates the first layer of the microchip. 5. Doping. The wafer is then doped, which involves introducing impurities into the silicon to create N-type and P-type semiconductors. These are used to create the transistors that make up the microchip. 6. Deposition. The wafer is then coated with a layer of metal, which will be used to create the interconnects that connect the different components of the microchip. 7. Dicing. After the wafer is completed, it is then diced into individual chips. 8. Packaging. The individual chips are then packaged, typically in a plastic package that includes leaves that can be soldered to a circuit board.